So now we're at generation three, and to give you an idea, generation three is really kind of where we've been pretty much for the last 2 years, what we've been working on and what we've actually been trying to promote and implement at our customers. And reality is we don't not even all of our customers are at generation three at this point, but hopefully they're most of the way there. But we have all those things still in place that we talked about before. You know, but with the firewall, we're getting even more complex with the firewall. Content filtering, not only does that help us from going to bad known sites, but it also, if we want to, filter down what companies allow their employees to browse to from a productivity standpoint, it's there as well. Then a big thing that we do is we actually, these firewalls are highly configured, and one of the things we do is geo IP filtering, which that pretty much blocks any traffic to and from known bad countries. And our security services are always up to date, and we highly configure these firewalls. Uh, what a lot of people don't realize is we invest a lot of time in the back end, auditing firewalls, making sure the best practices are applied to all these firewalls. And it's a lot of work, and we invest a lot of time, and our best practices continually to change. And so we're continuously working on that. And a firewall it does do deep packet inspection of all files that come through and checking for malware and bad actors. And Microsoft 365 has been big, and we do the spam filtering, as we said before. Something we kind of add to this above and beyond the spam filtering now, is it is highly configured. It's similar to the firewalls. We do highly configure Microsoft 365 protection, and geo filtering is one. We block all emails in most cases, unless customers do a lot of international business. We do block pretty much all the out of non-North America countries from an email standpoint. Um, and then another feature we added is something called link protection. And what link protection is when you get an email and from someone and they send you a link somewhere or that for you to click on, this actually goes out and it searches to see if this is actually a known bad website, or it looks at a file and it'll check it for any malware on those files. Okay. The next piece, with all these web-based apps and you guys logging into the network that we all do, the next thing we really highly recommend, and we've been implementing as much as we possibly can, is multi-factor authentication. And as Taher mentioned before, this is a way of getting that second level of authentication to make sure it's you. And then typically what it is, you'll get a text to your cell phone to enter a code, or there are authentication apps that you can have that you can click on to accept. This is you logging in, and it's just a good layer to protect your email and potential hackers going into. This is one of the ways that hackers will get in, and they'll try to do a lot of phishing attempts, and steal your money. Okay. And then we rely heavily more. I mean, a lot of the customers, if you're not using OneDrive personally for business data that's dynamic, or SharePoint for business data that's dynamic, if you're doing this, it is highly recommended that you utilize, you get a backup system. Microsoft even recommends to get a third party backup system of your data. So that's another level that we do recommend, especially folks, as I said before, if you're utilizing SharePoint for your dynamic business data, or OneDrive, it's highly recommended to get it backed up. Okay. Now, also during generation three, I mean, what we've, we continue to go dist to dist backup now. Um, what we do is we actually, every hour, we are backing up any differential files that are different on your servers to a NAS device or a BDR that we have in place. And this happens every hour in most cases on every server. There will be some servers, if they're application servers, we won't do it as often because the amount of data that the backup creates gets out of hand. Then the next step that we do is we synchronize this every night to the co-location facility. And we're at a secure co-location facility, and the traffic is sent over encrypted. It's securely sent over to the data center on a nightly basis. Okay. And then the next thing, and this is a big thing, and Taher mentioned this on one of the big attacks that we had recently. It was really more of a human element that created the problem by somebody clicking on something they shouldn't have clicked on. So the human element is a big piece of this. And what we've added to this is what we call security awareness training. And what this does, we do have an annual baseline training to see where the individual is. We do simulated phishing attempts to continuously test everybody to see if they're learning anything, to make sure they know the things to do to recognize when it is a phishing attempt. There are these little micro trainings that you can attend and go to, and it actually, by going through these trainings, it creates a risk score for yourself. And I've done a lot of these trainings and I've gotten feedback from people, and they are very good trainings, and you do learn a lot. And the more you can learn, the better off you are from not making those mistakes on clicking on the wrong links that you shouldn't click on. And then the other thing it does the dark web monitoring. And what that does, it scans the dark web to see if any of the exploits that have happened to any public cloud service happens to have someone's credentials in there that gets shared. Because a lot of times, what people do is they'll their own personal webbed, web interface they use for their own personal banking or investments or online shopping. They'll use corporate credentials, and they use the same credentials that they use at their office, and that just gives the bad guys an opportunity to catch you at your office as well.